Welcome to NAS, the National Ability Support System. This short video will show you how to transfer or deactivate a record. Transfer option is used when a service user is moving from one service provider to another. Deactivating a record is used when a service user may be dipping in and out of services or may have completed a program with you and is now no longer attending your service. To begin, search for the record by going to Workflow and enter the individual's name. Click on Edit and go to the Admin tab. Here you will see you have the option to transfer out or deactivate. If the person is going to a different service provider or a different location of a parent organization, you use transfer. Before you transfer the record, you must go to the Services tab and close off any services you are no longer providing. This may be all services, or there may be some services you're still providing. An example of this would be where maybe you are moving from being the main service provider to the secondary service provider, but are still providing some service to the individual. Close as appropriate. Go to the individual service, go across to the action and choose the Edit option. Question 63, the end date. Put in the end date of the service. Scroll down and click on Save. You'll now see that this service has gone to the end of the list and you've closed out this service. Do this to all that is necessary. And once the appropriate services have been closed, go to the Admin tab. You can now go to the Transfer Out option. In case you have forgotten to close out the services, we remind you on this pop-up screen. You'll see it says, please record end dates for services or interventions no longer being received. You then identify where the individual is moving to at question 90. So please put in the name of the new receiving service provider. If the service provider the individual is moving to is in a different CHO, please identify this at question 91. If they are in the same CHO, you do not need to identify it here. The option I've selected is St. John of God's, Liffey Services in Kildare. This is CHO 7, so I need to enter that in as it is a changing CHO. You would then hit transfer. Once you do this, you will be taken out of that record, and if you are no longer providing a service, you will not have edit or viewing access to this record. I will not do this now as I wish to show you the deactivate option. So I will close out of this pop-up screen. The deactivate option is used if an individual is dipping in and out of services or at the moment is not currently attending your service, but they are not transferring to another service provider. Please click on Deactivate Record. The options here are emigration, no longer eligible following review, or not reviewed. The not reviewed is usually used if the individual has not attended your service for quite some time and you haven't been able to review their record. No longer eligible following review means they have been attending you, but maybe now their service has been completed. Pick either option. Once you click on Deactivate, you will no longer have access to this record. We use the HSE record retention policy of 8 years. If this individual does not come back into service with any service provider, that record will be deleted. If they do come back in, you can easily reactivate the record. You can search by name, search your own service provider because you have deactivated the record, and there we will see that there is a deactivated record for Sarah Lyons. Click on Reactivate if they come back into service. As part of the deactivation process, all open services are closed. That's why this record now has a status of incomplete. If I go to the Services tab, you will see that the record has a close date. You simply need to add a new current service to open a new record or to open a new service, and the status will then change to current. This is how you transfer or deactivate a record.